Hello everyone, welcome to Anyone Can Code. If you are here for the first time, please subscribe my channel for latest updated videos. If you feel the content is relevant, please share with your friends and family members. And any specific topic that you want me to cover, please leave a comment. With that saying, we are going to start the today's topic. In today's topic, we are going to discuss about the variables in Python, how we are going to create the variables, what are the different ways that you can create a variable, and what are the naming conventions that we need to follow while creating the variables in Python. Okay, so we'll see in practical whatever the examples we are going to see here. I'm going to put them in GitHub. You can, if you want, you can simply get that code and try to execute in your local machine too. Okay, so with that, I hope you already installed the PyCharm in your machines. So this is the first example what we have executed, that is hello world. If you want to print simple hello world in Python, you can create a simple Python file which has to be an extension with .py, and try to use this print statement to print something on the console. Okay, so now we are going to talk about the variables. So variables are nothing but containers or the placeholders to hold your data. Suppose example, if you consider any programming language, right, for that matter, so all the computer programming languages are doing three things. Okay, so first thing is it is taking some input parameters and do some processing or applying some business logic, and it is going to generate some output. If you take any programming language, right, it can be C, Python, Java, or anything. So these are the three main activities: input, take the input from the user, from file or somewhere, and do some processing logic and save in the data. If you look at an example, if you are trying to make some payment, right, so the input is from which account, who is the sender, and what is the amount that you are going to transfer to, right? So that is the input parameter. So the processing logic is nothing but whether the amount is available in your account or not, whether the recipient account is available or not. So these checkings will happen in your processing, and it will generate an outcome whether the payment is successful or not, and at the same time whether the receiver is received the amount or not. So these are the common three things across all your programming languages. Now, so how we are going to create the variables in Python, and what are the naming conventions around it, right? So I'm going to create a new Python file. If you want to create one more Python file, simply right click on the project, select new. Give me a moment. Okay, so you simply right click here, select new, and you can create a Python file. So I'm going to name this as variables hyphen demo. It is better to, if you have a very lengthy name, it has two different words, probably you can separate it with hyphen symbol for more readability purpose. Okay, so I created a new Python file. The name of the Python file is my variable demo.py, right? So how you are going to create a variable, right? You can give any name for that matter. A equal to 10, B equal to 20. So this way you can create variables in Python, unlike other programming languages, right? So, for example, B equal to 20, right? So if you look at another programming languages like C, or Java, you must specify what is the type of the data. But Python is not going to ask you what is the type of the data. Initially, you can assign a number. Later, you can store a name or a string or anything. So we have a separate topic where we are going to discuss about the data types more in detail. But for now, first, how we are going to create the variables, and then we are going to talk about the data types. Okay. So this is how you are going to create a variable. Like example C, I am going to assign a value called Akbar. Okay. So these are the various ways that you can create the variables in Python. So the naming convention you have to remember is, in Python, if you want to create a variable, all your variable names must and should start with alphabet. It can be capital letter or a small letter, or you can start with underscore. Okay, but you should not have a variable name with a number. Suppose example, if I try to create a variable like, right, so this is not a valid variable declaration. If you on hover, see, it is highlighted and it is showing in red color symbol. So this red color symbol is giving you some information about it. So that is the reason I am specifically mentioning about to use the IDE while you are learning. So whenever you are getting this kind of red color symbol on your file, you simply on hover this particular red color symbol. This will give you some interesting information. Trailing semicolon in the statement cannot assign to literal. So what does it mean? Basically, you cannot assign a value, or a variable should not start with a number. Okay, so the variable name should start with alphabet or underscore. You can still have this variable declaration. This is quite possible. Okay, right, and you can use a variable name like this also. Like example, age is 25. So these are the valid variable declaration. Variable name should start with small letter or capital letter or underscore, but should not start with underscore. So should not start with number. So that is a rule of thumb in Python. Okay. So suppose example, I would like to assign multiple values. Like example, x, y. I would like to create 3 variables and I would like to assign them 3 values. See, this is called as multi-value initialization. Like example, we have 3 variables called xyz. In xyz, you are storing 10, 20, 30. So 10 is going to be stored in x, 20 is going to be stored in y, 30 is going to be stored in z. So okay, this is good. I created the variables, but how do I access these variables? Simple. You can just simply specify the name of the variable so that you can access. For example, I would like to print a and try to execute this. See, the value printed 10. So if you want to try to print x, since we created in a different way, right? So multiple variables declared in the same line and we assign the values. So let me try to print z value. So z value is going to be print as 30. See, so this is how in simple you can create in a at a high level. Variables are like a placeholders or a container to hold your input data, right? And then a variable names can start with small letter or a capital letter or underscore, but it should not start with number. You can define multiple variables in a single line and you can assign the values to the respective variables. If you want to print the value of a particular variable, you can simply use the statement print followed by the variable name. This is how you are going to print the variables and the naming conventions around the Python variables. We'll talk about the data types in the next video. Stay tuned for the next video. Thank you for watching.